Well, good morning. Well, as it happens, I'm working on a bit of a forensic project again, and it brings to mind something that I should point out for people, in the event that you end up in this kind of situation, and even just as a best practice. So you may or may not have noticed that a lot of times when you get a receipt, it'll come in two parts, and one part usually won't have a lot of detail on it. Like this one just tells me, what the total was and what was paid. It'll often be attached to something else. Maybe it looks like this, maybe it looks like this. But on the other piece will be the detail like GST paid and PST paid. So if you're running a company, either as a proprietorship or as a limited company, what you're going to need to know is your GST paid. So I'm not going to say that this receipt has no value, but this receipt has far greater value. Most of the time, best practice would dictate that you kept both of them, because they're usually stapled together or something like that but if for some reason you're only going to keep one side, make sure you're keeping the one with the details on it. Because if, heaven forbid, you end up in some kind of a forensic bookkeeping situation and you got big stacks of these receipts, you're not going to be able to make a very complete, for instance, GST picture for yourself, if that's what you needed to do. So I just wanted to point that out to people. Be aware that often enough on the little receipt stapled on your actual master receipt often doesn't have all the detail. Not 100% of the time. Like sometimes it has everything on it that's on the big one, but I don't know, maybe it has to do with the vintage of the cash register or whatever, but be aware of that. The receipt that has no detail isn't hugely useful to you. You should, as a best practice, keep it stapled to the other receipt, as I said. But certainly if you're going to lose one of them, lose the one that doesn't have any detail. Just saying. Have a nice day.